Paris, France, May 26, 2026, 4:23 p.m. The red clay of Court Susan Lenglen had already become a storm by the time the changeover arrived. Flags rippled across the stands in synchronized waves of red, blue, yellow, and white. The chants had not stopped for nearly 90 minutes. Laban, Alex. Laban, Laban, fight, Alex.
Fight.
The sound rolled through the stadium like thunder bouncing between old Parisian walls. On the court stood 21-year-old Alexandra Eala, sweat pouring from her face, chest rising and falling as she tried to steady her breathing after another punishing rally against world number 12 Maria Sakkari. The match had become brutal. Eala had taken the first set 6-4, but now the second set balanced at 4-4, every point carrying the emotional weight of a final. Sakkari's power was relentless. Eala's movement looked increasingly desperate. The rallies had stretched longer, the crowd louder, the tension heavier. She walked slowly toward her chair, already beginning the routine every professional athlete depends on when pressure threatens to consume them.
Towel.
Water.
Breath.
Reset. But what happened next had nothing to do with tennis. And within hours, it would become one of the most emotional moments the sport had seen in decades. A ball girl approached Eala carrying something in her hand. Not a towel. A piece of paper.
Small.
Folded tightly. Crumpled from being held too long. At first, Eala looked confused. The ball girl herself looked terrified. She was tiny, maybe 7 years old, with dark pigtails tucked beneath a Roland Garros cap slightly too large for her head. Her uniform sleeves hung loosely around her wrists. She looked less like part of the tournament staff and more like a child playing dress-up inside one of the biggest sporting events on Earth. Her name was Amelia. Her father worked as part of the Roland Garros grounds crew, maintaining clay courts through rainstorms, overnight repairs, and exhausting tournament weeks that stretched long past midnight. He had worked there for 11 years. This was Amelia's first day as a ball girl. Her first assignment. Her first time standing beside athletes she had only ever seen on television. And for 3 days, she had been carrying a drawing in her pocket waiting for the courage to hand it to Alexandra Eala. Now, standing beside one of the biggest breakout stars in world tennis, her hand trembled so badly the paper nearly slipped from her fingers. Eala looked down gently. "What's this?" she asked. The little girl swallowed hard. "I made it for you." The crowd, which moments earlier had been roaring during the changeover, began to quiet. Eala unfolded the paper slowly. It was a child's drawing. Crayon online notebook paper. Simple, imperfect, beautiful. A red clay tennis court stretched across the page. White lines cut through orange scribbles meant to resemble Roland Garros. On one side stood a stick figure holding a racket with a crooked crown floating above her head. Written in uneven letters, Alex. On the opposite side stood another smaller figure with pigtails waving a Philippine flag. And above them floated dozens of hearts. Red hearts, yellow hearts, blue hearts, pink hearts. The entire sky filled with them. At the bottom of the page, written carefully in shaky handwriting. To Alex, you are my hero. I want to be like you when I grow up. I practice every day in my garden. My papa says if I work hard, maybe one day I can be a ball girl. Today is my first day. I am scared, but you're not scared. You fight. You never give up. I want to be brave like you. Love, Amelia. For a second, Alexandra Eala stopped moving entirely. Then her hand flew to her mouth, and she began to cry. Not polite tears. Not the kind athletes wipe away quickly before cameras notice. These were immediate, uncontrollable tears. The kind that arrive before pride can stop them. The cameras zoomed in. The commentators went silent. 15,000 people watched as one of the fastest rising stars in world tennis sat frozen in her chair crying over a crayon drawing from a 7-year-old girl. "You made this for me?" Eala whispered. Amelia nodded nervously. "My papa said you came from far away," she said softly. "He said you left your family when you were little, just like he left his family to work here." Eala's eyes widened. "He said you were brave," Amelia continued. "I wanted to be brave too. Something broke inside the stadium at that moment. Not sadness, recognition. Because suddenly this wasn't about rankings or tournaments or second-round pressure at Roland Garros anymore. It was about two people from completely different worlds finding themselves inside each other's stories. A 21-year-old Filipina carrying the expectations of millions. A 7-year-old French ball girl trying not to be afraid on her first day. Eala stood up without thinking. She wrapped her arms around Amelia. The stadium erupted instantly. Applause thundered across Suzanne Lenglen Court. People rose to their feet. Some wiped tears from their own faces. Even the line judges looked emotional. "You are brave," Eala whispered into the little girl's ear. "You are so brave." Then she held up the drawing carefully. "I'm keeping this forever," she said. "I'm taking it with me to every match." The umpire eventually cleared her throat gently. Play had to resume. Amelia nodded quickly, wiping her eyes before hurrying back toward her position beside the baseline. Eala folded the paper with astonishing care. Then she placed it inside her tennis bag like it was something sacred. And when the match restarted, something had changed. She won the next two games. She took the second set 7-5. And for the first time in her career, Alexandra Eala advanced to the third round of Roland Garros. But almost nobody remembered the final point, because the match had stopped being about tennis the moment the crayon drawing appeared. Within minutes, clips of the interaction exploded across social media.
TikTok,
Instagram, X, YouTube. The numbers became absurd almost immediately. 10 million views in under an hour. 20 million before midnight. 40 million by the following afternoon. People who had never watched a tennis match in their lives found themselves crying over a 7-year-old ball girl handing a player a drawing. This is why sports matter. That little girl just healed something in me. I haven't cried at a sports clip in years. She didn't win my support with a forehand. She won it with kindness. Philippine social media became emotional chaos. In Manila, clips played continuously across news broadcasts. Restaurants replayed the footage on televisions above crowded dining rooms. Office workers stopped meetings just to watch the moment again. The hashtag Laban Alex trended worldwide. So did hashtag Amelia. French media responded with equal emotion. Le Parisien wrote, "In an era of manufactured sports drama, a 7-year-old girl and a tennis player reminded the world what authenticity looks like." Sports Illustrated called it the most human moment of the tournament. Then Amelia's father gave an interview, and somehow, the story became even more emotional. "She carried that drawing everywhere," Pierre said quietly. "She slept with it under her pillow." His eyes filled as he spoke. She told her teacher she was going to give it to Alex Eala. Pierre admitted he had tried to prepare his daughter for disappointment. "I told her maybe it wouldn't happen. I told her the players are busy, focused, protected by security." He laughed softly through tears. But Amelia said, "Papa, Alex fights for her people. I have to fight for her too." The clip of Pierre saying those words spread almost as quickly as the original moment itself. Because suddenly people understood something deeper about why Alexandra Eala had become such a phenomenon. It wasn't only the tennis. It was what she represented. A young woman from a country rarely associated with elite tennis, carrying herself with such openness, vulnerability, and heart that strangers across the world felt connected to her. Athletes began responding publicly. Coco Gauff posted, "This is everything." Naomi Osaka wrote, "That little girl showed what belief looks like. Alex showed what kindness looks like." Even Elena Rybakina, Eala's next opponent and one of the favorites to win the tournament, was asked about the moment during press. "I think it's beautiful," Rybakina said. "We forget sometimes that people are watching us not only because of how we hit the ball. They watch because of how we make them feel." Inside the Roland Garros locker room, Eala struggled to process the reaction. She sat quietly beside her mother after media obligations ended, the drawing still folded carefully in her lap. "I didn't cry for attention," she said softly. "I cried because she reminded me why I started playing." Her mother smiled gently. "I know." Eala stared down at the crayon hearts. "I was her age once," she whispered, "dreaming about courts like this." The next morning, Paris woke up obsessed with the drawing. But Alexandra Eala woke up with another match to play. And perhaps that was what made everything afterward feel even more meaningful. Because despite the attention, despite the interviews, despite becoming the emotional center of the tournament overnight, she remained exactly the same. She arrived at Roland Garros before sunrise. Practice courts empty, air cold, no cameras, no fans, just the repetitive sound of tennis balls exploding off strings. She trained for nearly 2 hours without interruption. The drawing remained tucked carefully inside her tennis bag. During a water break, she finally turned to her coach. "Can we find her?" "Who?" "Amelia." Within an hour, tournament staff escorted Amelia and her father into a private viewing suite overlooking Court Philippe Chatrier. When they entered, Eala was already waiting. She immediately knelt down to Amelia's height. "Thank you," Eala said softly.
Not for the drawing.
"For reminding me why I fight." Amelia looked stunned. Eala reached into her bag and pulled out a white wristband embroidered with the Philippine flag. She wrapped it carefully around Amelia's tiny wrist. "This is for you." Amelia stared down at it like it was treasure. "Wear it when you watch me play," Eala said. "I'll look for you. Promise." "Promise." The photograph of Eala tying the wristband onto Amelia's arm became the second iconic image of the tournament. And that afternoon, Alexandra Eala walked onto Court Philippe Chatrier to face Elena Rybakina, world number 5, Australian Open champion, one of the hardest hitters in women's tennis. Most analysts predicted the magic would end there. Instead, something unforgettable happened. The first set became a war. Rybakina overwhelmed Eala early with power and precision, breaking serve quickly and building a 3-1 lead. The experts relaxed. This, they assumed, was reality returning. But Alexandra Eala refused to disappear. Every time fatigue threatened her movement, she remembered Amelia's words. "You fight. You never give up." At 5-5, Eala broke serve. The stadium exploded. Philippine flags whipped violently through the air. "Laban Alex. Laban." She served out the set 7-5. The second set felt almost unbearable. Rybakina elevated her level again. The rallies became suffocating. Every game stretched through endless deuces. And yet Eala kept surviving. At 4-4, she earned a break point. She looked into the crowd. And there Amelia sat. Tiny wristband. Philippine flag. Watching with absolute belief. Eala broke serve. The stadium shook. Moments later, she stood at the baseline serving for the biggest win of her life. 15-0.
Ace.
30-0. Another ace. 40-0. 3 match points. Eala bounced the ball slowly.
Once. Twice.
3 times. Then she served wide. Rybakina floated the return short. Eala stepped forward. Forehand winner.
Game. Set. Match.
The noise inside Philippe Chatrier became almost impossible to describe. Alexandra Eala collapsed to her knees crying. And somewhere in the front row, Amelia cried too. "She did it, Papa," she whispered. She fought. After the match, Eala walked directly toward the stands. She reached up for Amelia's hand. "I kept my promise," she said. Amelia smiled through tears. "I saw you." Then she said the words that would become one of the defining quotes of the entire tournament. "I want to be just like you." Eala shook her head gently. "You already are." Years from now, people may forget the exact scoreline of Alexandra Eala's victory over Elena Rybakina. They may forget which round it happened in. They may forget the statistics entirely. But they will remember the drawing, the crayon hearts, the little girl who handed courage to a champion, and the champion who stopped long enough to receive it. Because the greatest moments in sports are rarely the cleanest winners or the loudest celebrations. Sometimes they are quiet, fragile, folded into notebook paper. Sometimes they arrive through trembling hands and childish handwriting. And sometimes, for just a few minutes on a clay court in Paris, they remind the entire world why people fall in love with sports in the first place.